Today we're gonna do the Thieves of Ostia, and the series is called The Roman Mysteries. Four kids we're gonna do. Because this girl named Favla Germana, her father loses a ring. She looks for the ring. She finds it in the graveyard where her father never told her to go. She climbs up a tree to get it, and there's also a bunch of other good stuff there, like gold and riches, maybe some iron, and she took all of them, but then some dogs, like a bunch of wild dogs, rabid dogs. And then our hero, Jothan, he's a Jewish boy. When I first learned about that he was Christian but also Jewish, and he explained why, I thought that means Jewish people are Christians or Christians are Jewish. I thought. Jothan, the Jewish boy, and Nuba, the African slave girl. She was a slave, captured. She was about Fava's age, and Fava asked her father to buy her. No, not for doing work, but to free her, to set her out into the world, to save another life. But when they purchased her on Amazon.
Seriously?
Yes, they purchased her on Amazon.
No.
They purchased her on Amazon.
How do you purchase a slave in Amazon?
Yeah, Amazon also does that in real life right now.
How?
Where you have to sign a contract if you want to be sold. It's basically illegal.
Maybe you're referring to an employment contract.
No,
So
it's
all
slave
employees are slaves, that's what you're saying?
No. The slave and employee are both different things. But today, either you sign a contract, then you are boxed in, you are sent to the person who purchased you, and then you have to work for them, and you're not getting paid. It's
Amazon.com.
Yes.
Jeff Bezos.
It's illegal.
Slavery is illegal.
Yeah, today it's but Amazon just puts this up for people. Well, I really don't think Amazon does it still, but you just have to sign the contract. You have to read it.
No,
But it's illegal.
It's not.
Just
illegal.
check it. You might find check Amazon and you could see.
Really?
Yes, check. It's illegal, but I don't think many people are be able there. And people who've purchased there on Amazon have been arrested.
The fact that is not a fact, and you are telling people that there is
No, it really
a
happened.
slave trade happening in Amazon.com.
Yes.
No.
You
Jeff
sure?
Bezos, the richest man in the world, can sue you.
Who's him? Who's that guy?
The owner of Amazon.com.
Oh, really? Oh,
Really?
okay. Maybe we can forget about that. No, it's just one of these stories I saw before.
Where?
The story?
Yeah.
YouTube.
See, that's why you should never
I-
believe anything you watch on YouTube.
It really
Repeat what I said.
It sounded promising, okay?
It's not. That's slander and that's misleading and that's completely fictional. Unless you have seen someone who ordered a slave online. Do you know firsthand experience?
No.
Why would you sell it in Amazon.com?
Guess we never know. Maybe black market? Okay. Can
Back
we
to the
restart?
book?
Yes, back to the book, please. Back
Okay,
to
go
the book.
ahead.
Book. Next, the third person is Lapis, the mute beggar boy. He's mute. Well, I mean, he wouldn't be mute if he had a tongue. But someone chopped it off.
Oh,
I haven't gotten to the part on who exactly took it, but he grew up in a world where he had no mother, no father, no family to turn to, and every bite he had to beg and steal for it.
okay, tell.
Fava Germaina, she's the first.
That's the second.
No, first. She's the first,
And the second?
and Jothan is the second.
And the third?
Nuba,
Who's Nuba?
the African slave girl.
Okay, the fourth?
Lapis,
Okay.
the mute beggar boy. And they become specialized detectives. So, she gets chased, but then Jothan comes into the action. He uses a sling. He throws it at the dogs. The dogs get pissed off and decide to attack him. Using that time, Fava Germaina was able to climb down the tree with all those treasures. And Jothan used this Jewish word, and that put the dogs in confusion, into a confusion. But it only stopped them momentarily. But that's all the time they really needed to run, to go into Jothan's house, where his father was waiting outside. Right? And he said another Jewish word that confused the dogs again, and he slammed the door in their faces. They were able to get in safely, and she met Jothan's dog, Bobas. I miss him already. After they have dinner, and then she goes back to her father's house with the sign. And she says she's safe, and the father says, "Why? You already are safe." I like that part. It was weird. Also, they were able to fit in two different stories. Not like the Rick Riordan, where each new chapter showed a different person's point of view. But in one chapter, they showed all four characters' views in one chapter. Not like the Rick Riordan version, but it made it quite confusing. So I lost track a few times. Then I went back, and then I found out what was going on, and then it became really awesome.
So you're saying Caroline Lawrence is better author than Rick Riordan?
No, on how she decides to use the chapters.
Okay, that's something.
Yeah, she uses one chapter to describe all three of the main characters' points of view, while Rick Riordan, one chapter, one point of view. But she's able to do all four.
Okay.
It was quite confusing at first, but when I realized what she was doing, I was like, wow. It was awesome. It was like one of those episodes. you watch, but it put into a book. Tell you the ending. Yes, the ending. Yes. So it turns out that Bobus's head was cut off. The dog. He's a white dog. And there was also this dog. He was black. Named Ruber. His head was also chopped off. And all these dogs are watchdogs. And then there was this rich merchant. His dog was red. And his dog's head was chopped off as well. All 3 dogs chopped off. And next day, after all those murders, and also this was all put into 1 day, 2 days in this book, where all that happened. I think it's awesome that way. They were able to catch the criminal behind it. Oh, I'm speeding way too fast, ain't I? The next day after that, a trident was placed before them when they looked out the window. All 3 of the dogs' heads were out there on a trident that you would use to fish. And that scared them real bad. Quite scary. They buried the heads with the dogs' heads that were... They buried those heads back into the bodies that were chopped off. So now they can come back whole in the underworld, yeah? Because, just imagine, the Riverman's point of view. 3 dogs, beheaded. And the Riverman's gonna be like, wait, you don't see that every day, do you? Even in the underworld. I see dogs with arrows in them. I see dogs with chopped off foots, legs, even in half. But a beheaded dog. Ooh, I wonder how he died. Guillotined? But 3 dogs. Yeah, must have been strange for a riverman. And the riverman's name is Karen. So, after they place back the heads buried, they decide... Fava's father decides to... Jothin's father decides to move out until Fava's father comes back from a voyage. Since her father is a sea captain. But after Jothin's father said that gave Fava a plan. They were going to fake their leaving and then come right back and see the culprit. And they also were able to have this green dye that will make him guilty. The culprit guilty of trying to steal. They found him. And it was Liberator. No, not the Liberator. Liberator. He's a slave. He's basically a slave in that same rich merchant's house. And he was trying to steal the gold because he had this gambling debt. He was gonna pay up the gambling debt with the money and then buy himself a little farm. And he'd be in a good life. That's why. But they were able to catch him, send him to prison. And then they had a party. And also, Lapis tried to steal some of the gold coins before they discovered about the gold coins themselves. And he fled away in shame. But in the party, Jothin's father, they reasoned with her, telling her that every day he's been fighting for his life. And then she has sympathy. And she asks God for forgiveness and then forgives Lapith. Happily ending and ever after, right? You're right. But with a good twist. The same rich merchant gave them all a reward, one pure gold coin. And then he asked them all what they were going to do with it. Fava decided to get the entire series of a book. Beautiful. And also Fava's father decided to get a new watchdog, an Indian one, since they're the fiercest ones. And that's the happy ending. The moral of the story? Moral. I always call it mortal. The moral of the story is...
Cut all the dog's hands!
Yes! No. Oh. It's to not steal. Yeah, I think we've all been given that one. The favorite part? My favorite part is Lapith. On where they first met him. He was climbing a tree, epic style, impossible way. Impossible for anyone at that time to know. He was the master pro until he made the epic fail and fall. Fell down and luckily had no broken bones.
And he got back up.
No, he was unconscious.
Oof, boof.
But the first was epic. I thought he was gonna do something epic, but he just fell off and failed. That's my favorite part. They showed a lot. They showed the author, Caroline Lawrence, she was able to show what it's like in the Roman times while introducing a mystery and a story placed into it. I loved it. So I think I'm gonna read the next one soon.
The book?
I recommend it a lot.
To whom?
To people who like solving mysteries and question themselves about life.
Exactly what questions?
I like the suicide jump. No, it's that their top suspect committed suicide, and also that's where the rich merchant's dog was killed at that same time.
But is that equivalent?
But that meant that the top suspect wasn't the killer. It was awesome. That was
That's
a good part.
The plot
where where the emperor retires and lets his son take over. No bloodshed for once.
Did it have
was the best part of Roman times, where the original emperor stepped down and the other one came up. Nobody had to die. Well, how it goes in the other times where lots of people have to die. Emperor decided to step down. Emperor Vaspin. Oh, he passed away. And his last words were, "Oh dear, I think I'm becoming a god." So we checked up the history, and it turns out he didn't step down. He passed away. "Oh dear, I think I'm becoming a god," he said. That was his last. That was his last words. And he's not Vaspin; it's Vaspinian.
Yes.
And he founded the
Flavian
Dynasty, thank you. And I suggest this book. The Thieves of Ostia, The Roman Mysteries. Anyway, it's about time I say goodbye. Bye. And also, the author is Caroline Lawrence. Bye. Bye.